Hello and welcome to BetaDen's Cohort 4 Showcase. I'm Linda Smith, CEO and founder of BetaDen, and thank you for registering for this broadcast version of the Cohort Showcase we've put together to promote the phenomenal progress made by Cohort 4 founders. Using this route to market modelling, we've based BetaDen's principles on. It is also to make a request to you in the audience today to consider how you may be able to offer support to any of the founders by introducing these new and emerging commercial technology solutions to industries or investment network contacts you may have. But first, can I introduce you to Cohort 4's industry expertise partner, Steatite, to set the scene on their involvement with BetaDen and what this means to them. You'll hear from their CEO, Matthew Richards, and technical manager, Paul Munday, who has worked closely with the cohort in a mentor capacity. Thank you, Steatite.
Well, my original speech started out, "It's so good to be back meeting in person and how powerful that real-life interaction is when fueling teamwork and creativity." So that's gone in the bin, and here we are again back in the virtual world. But we Brits are adaptable, agile, and none more so than the past and present BetaDen cohorts. 30 companies over 4 cohort years drawn to the Accelerator that was established to provide a platform for business to develop next generation technology. So it's not a coincidence their skills, focus, are so relevant to today's unmet technical needs that are in part being driven in response to the pandemic. You'll be hearing from the current cohort shortly, but on looking down the businesses, there are some recurring themes that are highly relevant to the demands of today and tomorrow as we navigate the fourth industrial revolution that is Industry 4.0. Digital connectivity on land and sea, data security, storage challenges, tools to aid smart decision making, better by design, management and response to cyber threats, and the use of ultra-wideband connectivity. It was during a prior BetaDen showcase that one presenter mentioned a book that had inspired him. It was called The Go-Giver. Look it up. It's a quick read, a little story about a powerful business idea written by Bob Berg and John Mann. It's a bit cheesy, but a clear message that's been repeated over the centuries: to give without immediate expectation of return. That was certainly what motivated me to provide some modest Steatite assistance to the BetaDen and Cohort 4 this last year, to provide some financial and technical support and applied experience of bringing technology products to market profitably. We were not looking for or even hoping for any return, but true to that Go-Giver message, we have in fact experienced unexpected benefits and see the seeds of new relationships that will give back in the years to come. If you might excuse another cliche, the more you put in, the more you get out. I'm delighted that my colleague Paul Munday was able to provide time to support the cohort with broad technical experience encompassing microelectronics and RF expertise, honed at Kinetic and its predecessor Dera, and for the last 9 years heading up our engineering team at our Lempster antenna facility. Paul has been well suited to the role supporting several of the cohort members. Steatite was founded in 1938 and has hence survived and since thrived after a world war and now a pandemic. The business has evolved and adapted over the decades to changing market demands. We started out producing electrical insulators from where our name derives, Steatite being a natural compound with insulating properties. Today, the company's technologies extend from rechargeable batteries, computers and communication solutions, all relevant to current world demands. So my advice for a long business life is to listen a lot, remain agile and responsive to changing unmet market needs. But having a good idea is not enough, and landing at BetaDen HQ immediately provides you with the sense that ideas can and will be converted into commercial ventures. There's such a positive atmosphere at the Science Park. And back to my opening comments, people do business with people, be that in real life or virtually. I can say it was the infectious enthusiasm for business from Linda, the CEO and founder, that hooked me on BetaDen 3 years ago. Her energy and inquiring mind is a force of nature, and I'm sure past, present and future cohorts have or will benefit from it. While Steatite will hand over the support baton for the year ahead, we will be staying close to our cohort friends. You never know what that might yield. Thank you, and I'd now like to hand over to Paul for some further thoughts on our year supporting BetaDen.
Thank you, Matthew, for the introduction and for providing me personally with the opportunity to work with BetaDen and the cohort members throughout this past year. Today's world runs on data. Over the past couple of years, we have got used to graphs, trends and statistics being presented daily regarding the pandemic, usually preceded by the phrase, "Next slide please," from a Downing Street press room. But data now permeates everything undertaken in our high-tech world, no matter what the domain: healthcare, industrial automation, finance, defence and security, agri-tech, energy, clean tech or digital education. The rise of data that underpins this fourth industrial revolution has driven the growth in applications, innovation and opportunities for underlying technology development. The data originates from multitudes of novel sensors, must be validated and secured to ensure traceability, needs to be transmitted from point of source to the cloud or other endpoint, and must be processed to provide actionable outcomes. Putting my engineer's hat on, this allows closed-loop control of systems in ever more detail to enable prediction of maintenance requirements, regulation of energy supply, safety-critical management of plant equipment, or optimal application of fertiliser and pesticide to maximise crop yield, to name but a few applications. The downside of this rise in the volume of data being generated is that we're overwhelmed as mere humans who now require automated assistance to process and act quickly on all the input streams, leading to the rise of AI, edge computing, and the high-capacity, low-latency communication systems such as the 5G network currently being rolled out and utilised by some of the cohort members. In an industrial, commercial or security setting, we are still learning to trust this autonomous control of expensive or safety-critical systems, but headway is slowly being made. Predictive maintenance of equipment using industrial IoT monitoring is becoming more widespread, for example, but AI interpretation of medical imagery or full autonomous control of vehicles, where the risk posed by inaccurate interpretation of data still requires a human hand on the tiller, or at least hovering near an emergency stop switch. It is the steady, incremental steps forwards, application by application, that is building trust in the data and the decisions processed from the data that is driving Industry 4.0 onwards. I'm going to stick my neck out and state that all businesses these days are in some way connected to these rising volumes of data, either as producers, processors or users. As a hardware manufacturer, we at Steatite produce equipment throughout the data cycle. Our imaging group, Active Silicon, produces camera units generating data for machine vision. Our antennas team sense the inputs to spectrum monitoring, radar or radiometry systems. Our communications team produce ad hoc networking solutions for the transmission of data, and the computing group provides the ruggedized hardware for edge computing or processing of data streams. And so that they don't feel left out, our power division powers up hardware or sensors in remote or hard-to-reach places. You will see from the pitches that the cohort members are going to showcase that all have their places in the securing of, transmission of, or use of this ever-growing volume of data. As such, their hard work is assisting the uptake in trust in autonomous decisions that power Industry 4.0 applications. But on their own, the technologists that form the majority of the cohort teams would not be able to make any market impact without the assistance of technology accelerators such as BetaDen and the guidance of the BetaDen mentors in the fields of finance, marketing, intellectual property or mindset coaching. It's great to see how far and how fast the cohort members have progressed from the initial submissions provided this time last year to the confident, matured pitches that you will see today. This is testament to both the hard work of the cohort members and the quality guidance from the mentors during yet another disrupted year. It's been a privilege, both personally and from our perspective as BetaDen's industrial expertise partner, to have gone on this part of the journey with the cohort. The rise of data will continue. New opportunities, applications and technologies will present themselves, but it is great to see that we have a healthy, vibrant tech economy within Worcestershire, the West Midlands and nationally that will see these opportunities taken. Roll on Cohort 5 and beyond. Thank you.